Hello, people. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Cal Chalcha, and now for some thoughts on the 4-1 loss to Cruz Azul down in Mexico City. Make sure and hit a like, subscribe, and we can keep growing this thing. And now on to the loss. And yes, it was a loss, and it was a pretty convincing one for Cruz Azul to win that game. Coming off of LAFC's game where we just dominated them. You thought maybe some of that would carry over, but I guess it was just too much too soon. And it left us with some real questions about the rest of the season and our place in it. So let's get stuck into this, okay? Overall, the teams are actually, even with the rotation and all of their starters back in, the teams were kind of relatively evenly matched. It was a lot of back and forth. Actually, I liked the Sounders' initial push. We came out, got on the front foot. Jesus put a beautiful pass through that just didn't work. But if it would have, might have set an entirely different tone to that game. I really like his vision on the field, and I've seen that more and more in just a few games that he's played. Knocking the ball forward in exactly the right spot. I mean, we need that. We need that kind of vision forward. After that, it kind of settled down. I mean, it didn't have to settle down much because it didn't really get frantic at the beginning. But it seemed that we had a hard time getting any flow going. And the passing was a bit nonchalant, I found. Not a lot of zip on things. I thought the defense seemed a little tentative, maybe a little nervous. And I was actually wondering, are these guys saving their strength for the second half? Because, when you're playing at over 7,000 feet and you're used to playing at sea level, it is going to affect you. And it did. It's sad to say that, we're going to be without Paul Arriola. I really feel for him. That looked like an absolute crap injury. And even the Cruz Azul players were over there consoling him because they knew exactly what was going on, and they could relate. It was good to see that out of them. It looks bad, and it's really too bad because, Paul could have been a really solid piece of our team for this year, but we're going to have to readjust and rejigger the formula. Just going to have to happen. Coming out in the second half, still no momentum. We could not get going. And you have to credit Cruz Azul. They played their game, and they played it well. We are not overmatched against them. You would think that, with their starting lineup coming back in, that we would be, you would see the gulf in quality would be a lot bigger than it was. And there was some, but not much. If you look at what they spend on their team, their wage bill is, a little over $18 million, $18.5 million. Ours is not much below that at $17.2 million. So the quality levels are not that far apart, but there is a little difference in it. The passing. Our passing, like I said, no zip to it. It seemed a bit nonchalant, and we were giving the ball away quite a bit. It just passes to no one. And not that they were being intercepted, but literally passes to no one. Or a pass that was so easily read that the defender in the midfield just stepped up to it, took it away. And then they started scoring. And, after they got one of the first half, there was still hope for us. When we leveled, there was still hope for us. But then, we were chasing game, and we pushed it. We pushed people forward, and that opened us up in the back. And then Jordan gets hurt. And now we really have a problem. Because the question is, now what? Now what? And the answer is, well, Jesus and Danny Musovski are really going to have to step it up because we do not have anyone else in that spot right now on the first team. And it's a concern. So this is an opportunity for you, Danny Musovski, and kudos on the goal. That was great, man. Got in there, stuck into it, stuck with it, and got a scrappy goal, made it happen. I love it. Rothrock's penalty, not helpful at all. Was it a bit soft? I thought it was a bit soft, but that call is always going to go against you in that building, always. And after that, the floodgates kind of opened up, and we were pushing forward, leaving us open in the back, and bada boom, bada bing, that's where they hit us, and pretty soon the score is 4-1, and there's nothing we can do about it. We gave them a good game. We did. But they, in the end, they got to play their game. And they play it well. One thing our guys, with about 20 minutes left or so, our guys started looking gassed. And that's the altitude problem up there at, over 7,000 feet. You could see it when they had a shot on Paul Rothrock, and he had this kind of pale, sweaty thing going on. You look at him and you say, okay, that looks like something a little abnormal that we're not used to seeing out of our guys. And it was just the lack of oxygen up there. So not blaming the loss on it, that's not it, but it definitely did affect us some. So looking forward, at least we don't have to worry about, the Champions Cup anymore. Yeah, yay, we don't have to worry about the Champions Cup. But there's some big questions to be asked, and there are some big needs that are going to need to be filled by this team. Up front, without Jordan, it's going to be the game plan's going to change a bit. We're going to have to, because that's not going to work. Running Jordan up front and having him be the lone striker, I just don't see that happening with Jesus and Danny in that role. So people are going to have to step up, and they're going to have to figure out something for that. We're going to have to readjust the formation and the entire emphasis of what our offensive approach is going to be. It's a bit concerning going forward. It is. And again, let's hope that Jordan's injury is not too bad, but there's not really anything that we can do about it now other than wait and see. So anyway, a disappointing loss. So now we get to concentrate on MLS, and it's early enough in the season that hopefully we can make the adjustment and make up for the pieces that we're now lacking, because we're lacking. Maybe there should have been a bit more business done, over these last few months to bring in maybe just a little bit more depth on the striker side. But it is what it is, and it's what we got to play with. So onward and onward. All right, Sounders people, make sure and hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time around. Couch Ultra out.